Cafe travelers, welcome to Cartagena! So this is our first full day here. We flew in last night and we are exploring the old town today. We just came in through the famous clock tower gate and so far it is incredibly lively and colorful, and I can't wait to get some food here and see all the other colorful buildings. Decided to stop in a little bar for a drink and to go to the bathroom and kind of get into the air conditioning. Old Town Cartagena is really cute, but it's a little crowded. Popular tourist spot, as you can imagine. And we found this place called Epoca. It's like a coffee shop slash bar slash little restaurant, which is really cool. It's set in this historic building. We're just kind of exploring the old town right now, looking for colorful buildings, kind of going down each street, you know, seeing what we can find. You really have to watch your step here because the sidewalks are very uneven and there's a lot of holes that could lend a broken ankle, I think. Here comes one of the touristy horse-drawn carriages, which if you like that kind of thing, go for it. But I think it's a little bit overpriced for what it is.
The old town part of Cartagena was a big reason that we wanted to come on this trip. Looked really awesome in the photos, and just walking through the streets, it's pretty neat. I like it a lot. It kind of feels like pirates should be walking down these streets. A little bit like Old San Juan in Puerto Rico, or maybe New Orleans, kind of that sort of vibe. But it's neat getting lost in these little back streets.
Made it to a rooftop, and we're in Colombia. Colombian flag, right there. Right there.
Music's a little loud, so you might not be able to hear any of this, but we're gonna get some drinks and a little bit of food.
Are we too old to be here?
And no. And we've got an awesome view of the entrance to the old town, which we came in through earlier this morning.
We're continuing our exploration of Cartagena. This is a crazy city, in case you were wondering. So we're gonna go back to the old town a little bit later today, but we wanted to visit this big imposing fort that's up on this hill. It's actually the Castillo San Felipe, or Felipe, I'm not sure. This gringo doesn't know Spanish. Gringa, see? It was built in the 16th century by the Spanish, and it is still very much intact today. So we're gonna go explore. There's a big famous Colombian flag on the top of it that lots of people take pictures with, so let's go find it.
So this fort was built by Spanish colonizers to defend the city of Cartagena. From the little bit of history that I looked up, it looked like it worked really well for the first 100 years, and then during the Battle of Cartagena in 1697, it fell to French privateers, which is a fancy way to say like government-employed pirates. So this pretty much is a fortress designed to keep out pirates.
We made it to the top, haha, victory. You can take a guided tour of this castle slash fort, or you can just tour it on your own. Entry is 33,000 Colombian pesos, which is about like $8 or $9, so not too bad. And you can pay with a credit card.
See? Pirates.
Pirates!
Pirates. To defend against pirates.
This fort was built by the Spanish colonizers to protect the very important port of Cartagena. And it is pretty well preserved, I'd say. I mean, they've done a good job of restoring it over the years, I think. We're going down there?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I've heard this fort is known for its tunnels. I didn't really know what that meant, but this is definitely a tunnel.
I don't like walking backwards in this, it's scary me. Definitely going downhill.
One thing you really want to be aware of is visiting this castle, you're going to be in the sun pretty much the entire time. But you can come inside of these tunnels and it's a little bright and it's a little cooler. I wouldn't say it's cool, but it's a little cooler. Yeah, there is a nice breeze, huh? Where's that go?
Down we go.
Wow, it just keeps going, doesn't it?
Oh. Okay. Okay.
You all good?
We were trying to be polite by tucking ourselves into the little alcoves to let people by, but we scared a lot of people in there, so. Sorry.
Whoops.
Lo siento.
I just looked it up and it turns out all those little nooks inside the tunnels were to ambush people that were trying to break into the fort. It's kind of ironic that we scared a bunch of people that were walking through because that's exactly what it was designed for.
Those tunnels were really cool. I have a little bit of claustrophobia, so I was a little tiny bit uncomfortable, but it wasn't too bad. All right, we're back to our familiar place, which is the clock tower at the old city. We took an Uber here, although it definitely is walkable. We were just kind of hot from being up on that hill, and the Uber was $2. Uber is very affordable here, and you're not gonna run into any taxi scams with them like you might with the taxi drivers here. There seems to be a lot of the old switcheroo going on where they tell you one price and then try to charge you another. Not just taxi drivers, but also vendors and some restaurants, so watch out for that here. We're gonna go in, and we've only seen a fraction of the old town so far.
So there's great little streets all over Cartagena and nice little plazas. We found this one that's right by this really beautiful church, and there's a bunch of cafes where you can sit right outside. It just happens to be happy hour, so we decided to stop and get a drink, cool down a little bit before we get back and explore the rest of the city.
I just read that this church dates back to the 1580s, which is really cool. Obviously, this plaza is very popular because it's in a beautiful location. You're gonna have a touristy area here. One thing that I heard about before we came to Cartagena were the vendors, and that they were very pushy and that there are a lot of them. We've definitely experienced the amount of vendors. There are a lot of them. But in terms of them being pushy, it's definitely not as bad as we've seen. If you've ever been to the Middle East or India, it's not as bad as that at all. If you just say no like once, maybe twice, and just kind of ignore them, which is kind of rude and like against, you know, the politeness that we're taught, but you just kind of have to, or else they're gonna be convinced that you're gonna buy something. Vendors, and there's also guys that will come up and rap at you. They make up their own rap, and they have a little boombox with some music, and if you listen and engage, then they're going to ask for money. And there's also the palenkas, which are the ladies dressed up in the traditional outfits who will want to take pictures with you, and if you do that, they're going to want money afterwards. All these people are just trying to make a living, so if you choose to, you know, buy something or take photos, that's totally your choice, and it's legitimate, but just know that there's going to be a lot of people asking for that.
We've come to the wall of the old city. You can actually walk around most of the wall. There's also a few little cafes that they've set up on certain corners that looks like it would be a great place to check out the sunset. So we might have to be back here in about an hour when the sun does set.
Keep seeing these mango carts, and tropical mango is way better than you can get anywhere in the USA, so I had to get some. Oh good. It was $2 US, which is way too much. advantage of their rooftop views in the old town. So we're at another rooftop restaurant slash bar. This one's called Apogeo. Everything is pretty inexpensive. That's the advantage of coming from LA. Everything seems inexpensive because everything is so pricey there. But Cartagena and Colombia as a whole are on the relatively cheaper side if you're looking for kind of a budget destination.
We decided to order a bunch of like smaller bites to start, so we ended up getting Wagyu wontons, a pizza with artichoke and buffalo mozzarella, and a creamy crab dip. Yeah, it all looks amazing, and I'm super hungry, so.
All my favorite things! We haven't really been in the old town at night yet. It is absolutely insane. It's very crowded, way more crowded than in the daytime. We're actually trying to get out of here, but they have it like the direction of traffic is flowing in one direction, so they wouldn't even let us out.
So that's going to be it for this video, but be sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned because we have a lot more videos in Cartagena coming up, including a food tour where we'll be back in the old city. This is Kevin from the Awkward Tourists. Peace out. You are on, my love.
That's my hat.
Like Donkey Kong.
This fort was built to protect. This fort was. Get good acoustics in here. You guys like my singing? Should I put on a concert?
Yo ho, yo ho. JV Jones is jerker.